Good morning, my dear students. How are you, everybody? Today I have also select our next topics. Yes, the next topics, we have also select chapter 4, very important chapter. Basically, it's also the biological based chapter. And the chapter's name is the reproduction in plants. In the previous class, we also explained about the sexual reproduction. Yes, the sexual reproduction, we also know about the flowers, the segments of flowers and the complete flowers and incomplete flowers. Yes, the complete flowers, we also know about the 5 parts of flowers. Today, I have also select our next topics, basically lesson 5 to 6. In the lesson 5 to 6, we also know about the little bit topics. Here's the little topics is the name is the fluorescence. Inflorescence. Basically, inflorescence is the very important topics for the pollination. Now, I have also drawn basically two structure. First structure is the racemose and second structure is the cymose. Yes, I have also drawn basically this structure is the racemose and the second structure is the cymose. Have you any differentiate about the racemose and the cymose? Here's the first structure, the racemose is also the flower, is the big flower, it's also the inner side, and the small flowers is also the outer side and also the top. Here's the top structure is also the small flower shape. Shape of flowers is the small and the cymose, the another category, basically another types. Here's the types is also the cymose. The small flowers is the bottom side and also the top side is also the big flowers. Now, we want to know about what's the meaning of the inflorescence. The mode of arrangement on flowers on the floral axis is known as the inflorescence. This inflorescence is of two types. For example, racemose, the growth of the floral axis is unlimited. As the growth of the floral axis is unlimited, and second is the cymose. Here's the growth of the floral axis is limited. Inflorescence is very important for pollination. Now, our very important topics, the lesson 5 and 6, here's the name of the pollination. Pollination is also known as pollen transfer. Pollination is the precondition of fruit and seed production. I have also give you the little hairs. Hairs we get from the pollen. Here's the pollen is also the, basically this structure is the stamen and it's also the stamen tube. Now, again, I also repeat, pollination is also known as the pollen transfer. Here we get also from this structure is when we have also found this structure is the pollen. I have just drawn this structure is the pollen. Again, rub your finger on the stamens of androecium of a flower and observe. A kind of yellow or orange colored powder must stick to your finger. These powders are pollen or pollen grains. Pollination is the transfer of pollen grains from anthers to stigmas. I have also drawn the structure of the anthers of stigmas. Basically, stigmas is this structure. Is the gynoecium. Yes, the basically this structure is the stigma style and this structure is the ovary. When the pollen is also the transfer this structure, then it's also happened the fertilization. Our next class we have also explained about the fertilization. Again, there are basically pollination is of two types. First type is the self-pollination and second type is the cross-pollination. My dear students, I have also drawn these two types structures, the self-pollination. Yes, the self-pollination is the same plants and also the same flowers and the same pollen is also transferred. The anther is the another name is the self-pollination. And the cross-pollination another plants, basically same species of plants and the same flowers and same pollen. It's also the transfer in the anther is also called, another name is the cross pollination. Now we have also seen the structure of the self pollination and also the cross pollination. Self pollination, what's the meaning of the self pollination? Self pollination is the transfer of pollens from anthers to stigmas in the same flowers or between flowers on the same plant. Example, mustard, pumpkin, dhutura, etc. It's also the main types of the self-pollination. Basically, self-pollination is the same flowers and the same species of flowers, and it's also the pollens from anthers to stigmas. Again, anthers to the stigmas. Here we have also draw this structure is the anther and it's also the stigmas and also the transfer. It's also another name is the self-pollination. Now another type is the cross-pollination. Cross-pollination is the transfer of pollens from one plant to the stigmas on another plant of the same species. Shimul, papaya, etc. show cross-pollination. Again, cross-pollination, basically this structure is the self-pollination and this structure is the cross-pollination. Okay. Now again I have also repeat, basically the pollens one plant to the stigmas on another plant of the same species. Basically is the main structure or main example is the shimul, papaya, etc. Now the agents for pollination, very important topics for your exam. Here we have also know that the basically adaptation of the pollination is also they have only many types. Agents for pollination, my dear students, in most cases the transfer of pollen occurs through an agent. The carrier that carries pollen up to stigmas is known as agents for pollination. Basically, wind, water, insects, birds, snails, as well as man also act as agents of pollination. Insects and birds fly from flowers to flowers in search of nectar or in attraction of their brilliant colors. During this act, pollen grains get stuck to the body of the carrier. As insects and birds do this, they transfer pollen from one flower to another unknowingly. To get the help of pollinating media, some structural modifications are seen in flowers. These modifications are known as adaptation. The adaptations are different for various pollinating media. The adaptations are as follows. First, adaptation of insect pollinated flowers. Flowers large, brightly colored and the scented petals with the nectars, pollen grains and stigmas are sticky. Example, China rose, pumpkin, mustard, etc. Next, adaptation of wind pollinated flowers. Again, I have also explained and also draw the adaptation of insect flowers. Basically, they are also the large flowers. Again, they are also the large flowers. They have also the large petals and the brightly colored and scented petals with nectars. Pollen grains and stigmas are sticky. Again, example, China rose, the pumpkin, mustard, etc. Next, adaptation of wind pollinated flowers. The wind, I think they have also the basically feathery and also the small size shape, and they have also the feathery type. Again, the adaptation of wind pollinated flowers. These flowers do not have scent. Their main symptoms, first symptoms is that they have not any scent, nectar or colored petals. They are small, stigmas are sticky, browns and sometimes feathery. I have also drawn the structure of the adaptation of wind pollinated flowers. They have also the ovary. Basically, this ovary is the wind shaped structure. Again, they are small, stigmas are sticky, branched and sometimes feathery. Anthers are on long stalks, for example, berry. Adaptation of water pollinated flowers. Water pollinated flowers, they are also the same of the wind pollinated flowers. Flowers are small, light, weight, and they can float in water. These flowers do not have scent, same to the wind pollinated flowers, and female flowers have long stalks, whereas male flowers are with short stalks. Again, I have also drawn the female flowers have the long stalks. In the water lily, the example of the water lily, in the female flowers is the long stalks. This structure is the female stalks, and the male flowers have the short stalks. This structure is the male flowers is the short stalks. Again, matured male flowers get detached from stalks and float on water. Last topic, adaptation of animal pollinated flowers. These flowers are moderately large. If small, they arrange in inflorescence. Brightly colored, may have scent or not. Example, kodam, shimul, and the oram, etc. My dear students, today I have also selected another topic is the pollination. Here's the pollination. We also know about the self-pollination and the cross-pollination. And we have also know very important topics, the agents for pollination. Yes, the agents for pollination. We also know adaptation of insect pollinated flowers. They have also the another symptoms and also the another characteristics. Second is the adaptation of wind pollinated flowers. Third is the adaptation of water pollinated flowers. And final and also last topics is the adaptation of animal pollination flowers. My dear students, I think today that's enough for your learning method. Thank you.